Hello and welcome in to my kitchen and a very special edition of Culinary in Focus. I'm Chloe, the National Culinary Manager for Winning Appliances, and welcome into my kitchen tonight. Thank you for joining us. I do have a very special guest I would like to introduce you to. Brito, she is our chef and culinary expert from our Kingston store in Canberra, and she's joining us tonight to show us her beautiful shortbread recipe. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to my kitchen.
Thank you for having me in your kitchen and welcome to mine.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me there.
No worries. And thank you for spending the time to show us this beautiful recipe of yours, Daniele, the shortbread recipe. I'm kind of halfway through it, so I'm going to let you run through our guest tonight on the best way to actually make the dough, why I get these in the oven, and I'll finish off. So I'll let you get underway on telling everyone about this amazing recipe that you're doing with us tonight.
Thank you. Yours looks beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
So, super simple recipe. Shortbread is a delicious biscuit, very, very easy to make. And today we are using 4 ingredients. We have 250 grams of butter, 110 grams of sugar, 340 grams of flour, and 20 grams of rice flour. We started with the butter on your stand mixer. Just hold the butter in there. I'm going to try to give you a little more angle so you can see what I'm doing. And sugar. So all the sugar at once. We are going to place this on our stand mixer. I'm using the paddle. The paddle is the correct accessory on a stand mixer to do your cookies. So I'm just going to place this on my KitchenAid and I'll be back with you.
Thank you, Daniele. So this is a shortbread recipe. I'm not sure if anyone has experience or maybe have eaten a whole packet of Scotch fingers, like guilty as charged. Traditionally, this recipe is a Scottish recipe, which is a little bit of my heritage there from my grandfather. And it's very interesting because this recipe actually dates back to the medieval times, the 12th century, right? Originally, it was actually a savory bread recipe, like a biscuit recipe that they twice baked and rolled in spices so they could take it to war and it would last longer. Until the Queen of Scotland actually saw what the French were doing and including butter into everything they did. And she thought, I want some of that. So she got her chefs to actually add the butter into it and change it from like more of a rusk, a dehydrated bread, into this buttery sweet biscuit we know today as the shortbread.
That's amazing, Chloe. Thanks for sharing that with us.
I thought it was cool.
I know, the French and the butter and everything. But
thank you for that.
The name, the shortbread is actually because it's a short connection with the flour. When we mix the flour, we are going just to incorporate it without activating the gluten. So I don't have the elasticity or something that would happen when you make it a cake or a pasta dough or a pizza dough. On this case, we're just going to mix it enough to not activate the gluten. So when we bake it, it snaps it and it becomes very, very crumble. Today, I'm going to show you how to portion your cookies using these methods. It's a cylinder method. It looks like a bonbon or a sausage if you want. But this one we'll do together once the dough is done. But while we're waiting for the butter to mix, we'll show you another option. If you like it to make your cookies like mine here in different shapes, I have it a little strawberry or a little heart here. Mini ones, shortbread will always remain the shape. Yeah, they're very little. So
that's so cute.
Use your cookie cutter and shape it. So when you bake it, will not spread. So they will hold the shape perfectly. So you can make little holes in the center, and that's how
that looks beautiful.
Keep the shape as it does. This is the one we're going to be making, and it's similar to the ones that Chloe just put it in the oven. But hers one has a surprise twisted, and she'll tell us about. So to make,
that's amazing. So Dan,
sorry, you go, Corey.
No, you go on.
Thank you. So to make them into shapes, we're actually going to have to roll. And the technique that I use, I put my dough. Can you see my baking paper there?
I can see your baking paper. Yes. Yep.
Excellent. So I put my dough into a baking paper, and then I put another piece of baking paper on top. Then I will roll with my rolling pin to the thickness that I wanted. Not too thick, not too thin. If it's too thin, probably going to snap. So we're looking at about a half a centimeter thickness to produce you a nice, beautiful, delicate biscuit. Just
so
going.
does this come down to taste as well, Daniele? Like some people might want a really buttery, soft biscuit, and some people like them super crunchy. Does it come down to taste, or?
Not so much on the thickness, but perhaps on the time that you leave in the oven. The shortbread generally will be dry, as you introduced it in the beginning. It's a dry cookie, so it will flake it more likely. But if you wanted to take it a little bit early off the oven, perhaps you got to get a little bit of that creaminess in the center of your cookie. So once it's rolled, and the reason why I put it double size is because if I needed to turn it around to adjust the other side, I can. I wouldn't be able to do this if I was rolling directly on the bench. So then lifting it, and I can use my cookie cutters to give it a shape. A little tip, and I think I had included that on the recipe for you guys. Dip your cutter in flour before cutting it. So that will give you a nice, beautiful cut without a little breaking or without a catching inside your cutter. So that allows me to do a little bit more complex thing like a snowflake without breaking, without losing the shape. So a little bit of flour, tap it on the corner of the plate, and off you go. So this is for when you needed to shape your cookies. Then it's just a matter of removing and transfer to your baking tray.
Makes less mess, right?
Pardon me?
It makes less mess as well, right?
Absolutely, it really
Stops
does.
it from sticking to your rolling pin.
Yeah, it's hygienic because you're not touching the bench. Once you finish, you just dispose your baking paper, and then you can even you reuse it to bake them. You can put them on the
we like to do that.
And bake them as well. Let me check how our butter and sugar are going.
Beautiful. So, Daniele, do you think that the quality of the butter really affects a good shortbread?
I think it does. I think it does because there are not many ingredients there. It's very basic. So we should take care of those ingredients, because that's the only thing that has to highlight the recipe. And the butter, I use unsalted butter. In pastry, we only use the unsalted butter because then it allows us to adjust the taste as you wish. The salted butter will always carry that little salt taste behind it. And when we're doing pastries, we don't want that. But yeah, don't need to go over the top. Just, you can still buy your butter from your local shop, but perhaps just invest a little, I don't know, a little $1 or $2 in there.
A little luxury, right?
Yeah, we don't need 250 grams of butter every day, right? At least not at once. Exactly. So it's good to have a good quality for sure.
Very, very true. So I was actually reading as well that this is traditionally, Scottish shortbread is traditionally a Christmas or New Year's kind of festivity to fill your tummies and to send good vibes. So there's good vibes that come with shortbreads.
How cute.
I think we all like a bit of good vibes at the moment, right?
Absolutely. And it is like a candle, it's very nice. You have with a cup of tea, it created a situation to actually sit down, take a deep breath and enjoy a cookie and a cup of tea. If you ask my friends and family, probably some of them log into watching us. Every christening, birthday, there will be my shortbreads. What I do, I decorate them. So I generally do the classic round shape. a little bit thinner. So that's the 1/2 centimeter one, and ice on top. And then go with the theme of the baby shower or the wedding or the christening. But it's story of my life. I'm always making shortbreads.
That's why you've got it down to a fine art and a beautiful recipe. Oh, gorgeous.
So we have a very creamy, and the light is a bit yellowish here, but it's quite pale as well. So that's the butter and the sugar combined. As you beat at your mixer, you will notice that very big difference in color and texture. What is important, and if you want a little tip to know if you had beat that enough, put a little bit on your finger and run. You should not be able to feel the sugar. That will melt in the butter and incorporate it at the same. Now we're going to add the flour, and I'm going to do this quite slowly. One spoon at a time to allow the flour to incorporate gradually to the dough. I will leave you for a second, but stand right there by the KitchenAid.
All good.
And I think I can hear you from there.
Beautiful. Because can you overwork the dough, Daniele?
Yes, you can. So then you end up with a not so shortbread, because more that you beat that flour at this stage of sugar and butter is not so risky, because not much can happen there, in a 5-minute period of time. But when you have the flour already mixed, you can overwork. It's going to become chewy, tough. It's not going to get that nice snap that you expected on the shortbread.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful. Some actually say that, excuse me, dropping forks, that at weddings, if you snap a Scotch finger or a shortbread over someone's head and it crumbles perfectly, it's a sign that it will be a good and successful marriage.
Oh, cute. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
So, low speed. Every time you're incorporating flour to your recipe, low speed. Otherwise, what's going to happen. The flour is going to go everywhere. So
we've all done that, right?
Slowly. I have just a normal tablespoon, and I'm going to add 1 spoon at a time continuously.
Gradually. Amazing. Just checking on time. They're looking good. And there's nothing better than the smell of hot, buttery shortbread cooking in the house. It's so nostalgic, right?
It's very welcoming.
So, Daniele, tell us about what you do. You're working down in our Kingston showroom, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And you've been with us 3 years now.
3 years. Happy on my working kitchen. We have a live kitchen, which is a theater. So I spent my day producing goods, testing and playing with the appliances. I also take appointments with customers to assist them to make decisions. Sometimes rebuild the kitchen can be a big call. So assist the customers making decisions, and after purchasing as well. So they have this beautiful kitchen, new appliances, and they may get stuck of how to use. So then I can make an appointment to assist them at this stage too.
It's such a big decision when you're making appliance, right? Because we're generally, we buy them maybe every 8 to 10 years. So it's an investment. It's like when you're buying a car, and when you have to use it every single day of your life, and how they change in that amount of time, it can be so overwhelming to understand what might work for you. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that we do here at Winnings, is that we spend the time with the customers as chefs to understand their needs, to understand how the appliance might work for them and the way that they cook in their daily life, and then help them and guide them through using that appliance, right?
Yes, there is a lot of respect involved on understand their lifestyle and fit in to how can we add to it. We're never going to change anybody's mind, but I find myself almost the obligation of tell people what's available, so they don't end up going to visit a friend and find out all about this technology, and I didn't told them.
And you kept
the whole spread, and then I let them go, oh yes, that sounds amazing. It's something that I can see myself cooking that way. It's really interesting, and our stores are open again now.
Very exciting.
2 weeks with doors closed, but now amazing. The traffic of people coming, and it's really, really great to see that coming back.
That's perfect.
All these shortbreads.
And we get to share all these amazing recipes, and there is live daily cooking. So at our flagship stores, you will see chefs in there every single day cooking up goods. You can smell, you can see them using it. So it's a really interactive service that we offer. So make sure you get into your local Winnings and check out a chef or ask your chef a question, or maybe you get stuck on how to use your appliance. So we are there to support you. So, yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm going to be going through with you about all the toppings and the way that you can use this basic recipe and how to adapt it to different flavorings.
Yes. So yeah. Have you baked something early to show us?
I have. So I've made like a little selection here, if you can see it.
Wow.
So I've coated some of mine in Demerara sugar, so it's got that crusty outside, which I love. And then, so what I'm going to do with these guys here is like this one here. I'll make like an alfajor style biscuit, which is like a cheats alfajor. Who doesn't like salted caramel, right? Or caramel for that amount.
Oh, yummy.
So this is my caramel here that I cooked in a steamer for 2.5 hours. So it's like your dulce de leche, which Daniele, being a Brazilian, I know you know this very well. So I cooked that last night for 2.5 hours to sandwich my shortbreads together there. And then I actually did like a little jam drop. I put some strawberry jam in the center, which is always a hit with kids. And a really nice little luxury way that you can do it as a dessert is by drizzling it in dark chocolate, maybe some rose petals. So something nice there. And I'm not sure if you can see the other one.
I love that. Yes, that's very similar to what the traditional style would be.
Exactly.
You go there and snap a portion to serve.
Yes, and snap it as you go, right? With my ones here, I've actually written my names of everyone in the family. So I've literally got my name on it, so you know that don't touch mine, and that one's for you, so we get to share.
That's so sweet.
I don't know about you,
no limits. There's honestly no limits to what you can do. For one of my nephews, I did for his baby shower, I need a baby suit. And then I put his name because it doesn't lose the shape, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
That's great. How's the dough looking?
It looks beautiful, exactly as we want.
So if anyone has any questions, please just do shoot them into the comments below. We are here if you do get stuck or you want to ask something. So please just give us a holler out there if you want to ask a question. All right. So what we have here are all the ingredients combined. I'm using a pastry scraper. That's a little half-moon scraper that really helps to get all around the bowl and not wasting anything. And I'm just bringing that together, and I will show you that it's shortbread because the dough is short, as I say. So you will expect it a flaky, a flaky looking. So Sonia, we're making shortbread cookies today, and Daniele, Nadia has asked us, can we freeze the dough? Absolutely, you sure can. You can freeze the dough up to a month. This, what we got to do now, I believe to be the best way of freezing. And soon enough, when I show you how we're actually going to use this, you understand why it is on this shape. It's protected by a glide wrap, so it will not freeze dry, and you can preserve the integrity for up to a month in a freezer. I usually keep up to a week in a fridge. Okay, perfect. Same style. Right. Okay, so what we are doing here, I'm just going to tilt the camera down just a tiny bit. Sorry? Could you tilt the camera down just a tiny bit? Sure, sure. Just going to unwrap some glide wrap. No worries at all. Better? Beautiful, perfect. You're hand modeling. We're ready for it. I have my hands in books. Okay, so I have some glide wrap here, and what I'd like to do is to take roughly half of my portion of dough from here. I'm going to use once again my scraper. Perfect, great tool. And I place in here
And yes, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, but bear with me. So here, with the tip of my fingers, I will combine this into a roughly cylinder shape. Okay, don't need to be too fussy with the shape because the glide wrap will fix that to us.
Amazing.
Find it as much as we can. Again, don't work hard, don't work too much. And if it is a little bit crumble, great. It's a sign that you are doing it right.
Success.
Exactly. So from here, I get my glare wrap and I start rolling and applying a little bit of a pressure to actually give the shape of a sausage.
Oh, we're losing Daniele a bit there.
You can do this with any type of cookie, not just the shortbread.
I think we lost you
like
for a second there, Daniele. Yeah, we go. I think, yep, we've got you back there. Yep, we got you back.
Ah, okay. So I say you can use this technique for every single type of cookies. It's a great way of portioning it. And when you bake it, all your cookies are going to have the same size and shape. So you also avoiding have one cook baking faster than others. So you have one crispy, one chewy. If you have them all portioned evenly, they all got to bake it at the same time.
Yeah, that's great.
So this is fun. When come to this stage, we just roll, hold it, and roll. So hold it and roll. Just a few times. See how the shape is beautiful and uniform?
Yeah, gorgeous. Beautiful and even.
I don't need to do much work. This is how we are going to place it. Either in the freezer, if you like to start cooking in a hurry, you can firm up a little bit in the freezer or in the fridge. It depends on how time you have in hand. The stage of firming up in the refrigerator is actually quite important. It's very hard to cut and portion when the dough is very soft. So you got to end up, it's got to end up sticking to your knife and being a little bit hard. 7 minutes, 8 minutes in the freezer is more than enough. Just pop it in there. And then meanwhile, you just clean the surrounds and then you have only your baking tray to deal with afterwards. Wow, how are they going?
They're good, they're done. So I rolled mine in pistachio crust and put a little dash of mandarin and rose into mine to make mine like a little Middle Eastern flavor.
Incredible. Wow.
Yeah, so as hard as it is not to eat them right now, I think I'll have to let them cool down, right?
You must let it rest. If you try to take them out of the tray now, it probably gonna crumble in front of you. And it's a little bit frustrating. So you don't want that to happen. Let it just be for 2-3 minutes. Then the crust in the bottle is going to firm up. And then you can move it to your wire rack. I like it to let them cool down in a cookie rack or on a wire rack. So then it aerates inside, upstairs and down. So then you can place it in your airtight container, keep it in your pantry, instead of eating boring cookies full of preservatives and artificial colors and everything in between. You can have your fresh shortbreads on the go. Absolutely. I usually leave them on an airtight container. It keeps crispy for a week and a half without any problem. As long as the container is it's closed very well and it's really airtight in the pantry, so you're not exposed to sunlight or extreme temperatures. So a week and a half, 10 days, you're good to keep them.
If they last that long, right?
Yes, that's the talent. Okay.
Beautiful.
So once our dough has been in the freezer for a few minutes and it's ready to be cut, I have a cutting board. Yep. You see me? Beautiful. And a sharp knife. Good to be sharp, otherwise you're going to end up putting unnecessary pressure to your dough and you don't want that.
Is that how you get the flat one side?
Pardon me?
When you have to put pressure on the dough, you sometimes get that flat bottom and you get like an arch.
Like
really.
a moon, yeah.
A moon, a crescent.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you want to have round cookies.
Yeah.
If it gets a little bit stuck, you can use your knife to cut and remove the wrap.
And so if we were to do it the traditional way and we wanted to do it like I've got kind of a little, I don't know if you can see it there, so which is your traditional slab, or what they call the traditional petticoat, which is the circular cut into cube version. What we would do, Daniele, right, instead of rolling it into a log, we would do something more like that, just in cling wrap, and keep it flat, right?
Yes, keep it flat. And then I love to see how much shortbread you have in your fridge.
It's full.
Absolutely. It's, as we say, extremely versatile dough. You can do in many, many shapes and forms. As you had shown, you can add flavor as well. Sometimes I add vanilla essence to it, or rose water, as you did. So the liquid essence, they can go in a dough, and the right stage to mix it is in the beginning, when you have your sugar and flour. You can already incorporate that predominant flavor to it. And then the other crispies and crumbs, then you can do a bit later.
Perfect.
Okay, so we have our beautiful set, and this is just after a few minutes in the freezer. Remember, it's butter. Yeah, butter is going to set pretty quick. Then we start cutting with the knife. See how it holds it perfectly?
Yeah, beautiful.
One recipe, if we use this method, will give you 20 shortbreads.
Perfect. That's quite therapeutic, and it makes it so much easier to get that precision when it's in that one log, because it's so easy to be able to visually see and break it up instead of kind of just in there.
So my cuts here, they are roughly 1 centimeter.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It only takes 15 years as a pastry chef.
Just 15 years of practice.
That's
or 15 days in lockdown, doing it every single day.
That's it. Beautiful. So they are ready to bake. And once they baked at 150 degrees for about 15 minutes, you are
on fan force, Daniele, or convection? What type of heat are you using?
Fan force, because that also will allow me to bake in more trays at a time. So nobody can eat one shortbread only. So you're going to need to bake lots. So you use fan force, that way the hot air will be distributed inside the whole oven evenly, and you can make as many trays as your oven capacity allows you to do so. Perfect. Once we finish, we have, this is exactly the same shape of the ones that I baked early, and this is what you are after.
Successful marriage for you. Beautiful.
That's it.
I love it.
Isn't it easy?
Super simple, right?
That's it.
I love it.
So
and it's
I like
so
to see everybody's pictures after seeing this video and downloading the recipe at thewinningappliances.com.au. Just send us some pictures, send us some questions. We'd love to know.
Yeah, and hashtag Winging Appliances, and we can follow and check out what you've been baking in the kitchen. We have a whole range of appliance recipes on there, and any for you just to try. So make sure you check out the Winning Appliances website for more recipes. Daniele, thank you for joining us in your beautiful home tonight. It's been so lovely.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure anytime.
Thank you.
I hope we can do it again soon. Just come and say hello.
Pardon?
For those ones in Canberra, just come and say hello.
Absolutely. Pop in and see Daniele down in our Kingston store to try some of her delicious shortbread. We are back open, like we said. We really do hope to see you soon. Thank you for joining us tonight, and take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks, Danielle. Bye. Enjoy your shortbread, everyone.
Well, I will.
Bye, Danielle. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.